Hello, my friends. Welcome to my try on and review of Younique Cosmetics. Okay, so let me preface this by saying I am not a Younique rep. If you are new to my channel, just know I am not selling this stuff. This actually was sent to me by a subscriber. Her name is Lacey. I will give her information down below in case you do see anything in the video that you do enjoy. She is not paying me for this video. She just sent me the products after I said that I would try them. The reason why I wanted to do this video is because I have a Facebook group. It's facebook.com/group/whatsupinmakeup. And we get a lot of Younique reps on there that come on and really want to push Younique products. And it really annoys people like a lot. People get really upset, and whenever anyone asks about Younique products, it's either, oh my gosh, I love this product, oh my gosh, I love this product, or it's overpriced crap. All of it is crap. I'm like, well, how can it be amazing and also crap at the same time? So I just wanted to know for myself what is going on with this brand. Is it overpriced crap or is it good? I needed to know. I had to know. So when Lacey says she'd be willing to send me all of this to review on the channel, it gave me the opportunity to find out for myself. So that's what I'm going to be sharing with you in this video. We're going to be starting with the skincare items. So the first thing she sent me was the Younique Royalty Rose Water Toning Spritz. And if you know me, you know I hate to spray things on my face. But this is actually one of the things I really like that she sent. Watch this. Okay. Let me tell you why I like this. As much as I can possibly like a spray on my face. The mist, they nailed the mister on this. The big thing I hate about sprays on my face is when the spray ends up being like a lot here and a little bit here, and I end up with these wet spots and it dries all unevenly, and I'm very tactile with my face. So I hate that. This does not do that. It's got a really nice sprayer on it. It does smell very strongly of rose. If you do not like rose scent, you will not like this. As far as ingredients for this, rose is an ingredient that some people say is really good for your skin. Some people say it can actually irritate your skin. So it's up to you what you think about rose. I'll leave some details down below about that. Also, there is sodium hyaluronate in this. I don't know if it's a negligible amount of sodium hyaluronate, but it is in here. That's a nice anti-aging ingredient. Next is the moisturizer. So this is the Younique Royalty Divine Daily Moisturizer. This moisturizer is very thick, and it's very, very hydrating. I don't know if I would not recommend this for oily skin, just because I don't know, I'm not an expert on skincare, so I don't know whether this would work for you or not, but it feels very thick on the skin. It takes a while to seep in. It takes a while to dry down. It feels good on the skin. I do like the way it feels. It's just a little bit heavy for my personal tastes, but it's not bad. It's just a little heavy. The ingredients in this, there's a lot of floral extracts in here. It also has squalane in it, which is an emollient. It also has antioxidants in it. Paula's Choice really likes this ingredient. Other websites say that it's good. Some of them say it's great, but it's known for good anti-aging properties. So that is one of the main ingredients in this. So for me, it's just kind of an okay. It's not my favorite. Now this is one I won't be using on camera. These are the cleansing cloths. These, I will say, they work. They do remove my makeup with some effort. My only complaint about these is they are a little bit dry for me. Some people don't like a really wet cleansing cloth. That would be for you. You would like this. But if you like some substance and some wetness on your cleansing cloth, you won't like this. The main ingredients in this are sunflower, olive, and jojoba oil, which is what's helping you to remove your makeup. And it does work. They work. They're pretty good. I do think that they're overpriced though at $20. So now that we're gonna get into the makeup, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit and get up close and personal so you can see how all of this makeup works. So this is the Glorious Touch Primer. The big thing that we want to remember about this product is that you do not want to use a lot. You just want to use a little bit. It reminds me a lot of the Smashbox Primer as far as the way that it feels. It does have dimethicone in it, but this feels a lot slippier. It's a little oilier feeling than the Smashbox. The other thing I want to let you know about this is it has retinol palmitate in it. So if you're going to use this, you want to make sure that you use a sunscreen, because there is some research to suggest, some people disagree with the research, but there is some research to suggest that retinol palmitate increases sun sensitivity. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the way that it feels, and I've used it with multiple different foundations, and I haven't found that it increases the longevity of my makeup. But, you know, I'd love to hear your thoughts if you've tried this. All right, next up is the Mineral Touch Foundation, and this is the shade Scarlet. See, there's 13 shades in this foundation. It's also dimethicone based, so if you get acne from dimethicone, you don't want to use this. Now, when I first used this, I saw that I used too much of it, and Lacey told me to use less of it. She also told me to drop the foundation directly onto the brush. So we're going to drop 2 drops onto the brush, and we're going to use this for half of the face. But you can see that it is a lighter coverage with the 2 drops into the foundation brush. That's why I end up using too much, but when I used too much, it ended up sticking to my dry patches, and it just looked really, really bad. So if you're looking for a lighter coverage foundation, this may be a good one for you. Now that I have it all over my face, I'm going to go ahead and come up really close so you can see the coverage. So when I use less, it definitely doesn't stick to any of my dry patches. I've been getting recently, very recently, just a little bit of dry on my chin and a little bit around my nose, and it definitely doesn't do that if I use less. So this foundation isn't a dislike. I actually do like it as a lighter coverage foundation. This is definitely not one that I would use for filming because I like a full coverage foundation, but for like an everyday, day-to-day, I actually really like this for that. So it really just depends on what your coverage needs are. So this is the concealer. Now the concealer, one thing you need to know is some people are very anti-petrolatum. That is the #1 ingredient in this concealer. There's also another ingredient in here that I'm not familiar with called Glyceryl Rosinate, and according to the Cosmetic Ingredient Review, which is not it's like a almost like think about in politics, like non-partisan, like that's kind of what Cosmetic Ingredient Review is when it comes to cosmetic chemistry and testing ingredients. So they said that it is a human skin toxin or allergen. So there's been enough research for them to say that they are based in the United States. So just so you know, if you have sensitive skin and you might want to patch test this. So I'm just going to dot a tiny bit because you don't need a lot of this. I notice again, the more I use of this, the more it creases on me. Okay, this is the Sephora Pro Press Full Coverage Precision Brush. I love this brush for concealer. So what I've been doing with this is I spread it out with the brush and then I pat it in with my fingers. And that also with the Tarte Shape Tape, I do the same thing. I feel like I can't really blend this out appropriately with just a brush. See how it's really streaky? But when I pat it, it just goes right into the skin. So my shade for this is Scarlet as well, and I think they also have 13 shades of the concealer. Again, it's just a little bit tricky to work with just because I find that it can crease if I'm not careful with how much I apply. So just if you choose to get this, just be really careful with how much you use. I find that it definitely minimizes any darkness. I don't have severe darkness under my eyes. I feel like I look a little real light right now under my eyes, but it'll all blend together eventually. Kind of reminds me of the amount of coverage of the Sephora Gel Concealer. It's okay. I do like it. I just like it for a more lighter coverage concealer. So now we're gonna go into the pressed powder. This one is in the shade Organza. This is their pressed powder foundation, and I don't use any pressed powder foundation as an actual foundation. Like I have the Too Faced one, I have a few others. I always use them to just deepen up the coverage of my foundation. So I'm gonna use their little puff, and I'm just gonna press this into the skin on the one side so you can see how it beefs up the coverage. So you can see how it mattifies the skin. It also kind of takes me from a light coverage to more of a medium coverage, but still not to a full coverage level. While I do the other side, just so you know, there were no concerning ingredients in the powder foundation. I actually really like this just as a regular pressed powder. I've used it over other foundations, and I actually really like this one a lot. I'm saying actually like I'm shocked, but I kind of am. Just don't tell anybody I said that, but I am kind of shocked. This is probably one of my favorite things that I got. Speaking of one of my favorite things that I got, the thing that I really liked was their brow pencil. I really like the brow pencil a lot. This is the Moodstruck Precision Brow Liner. She sent me medium, which is a little bit light for me, but I can get away with it. And I'll show you how this works. It's very similar to the Anastasia Brow Wiz as far as how it works, or the L'Oreal Brow Definer. And again, no concerning ingredients with this one. My big complaints about many brow products is they either feel too heavy on the brows and look very unnatural, or you have to scrub at your face in order to get it to go on. Now, I do not do Instagram brows. My brows are not going to look like that. I don't like the way it looks on me. There's also a spoolie on the other end, which I really like to have a spoolie. I also like that it rolls up and down, where like the ColourPop one doesn't roll down. So it's good that it, you know, you can kind of it up and down. There's only one complaint I have about this, and that it only comes in 3 shades, and there's lots of different hair shades out there. I wish there was a bigger shade range, but as far as the performance of the product, no complaints at all. Moving on to eyeshadow products. Now, I want to give you a little frame of reference. I am a makeup reviewer, and I am very picky about my eyeshadow. Eyeshadow is kind of my thing. So in order for an eyeshadow to impress me, it takes a lot, like a lot. So this is the Splurge Cream Shadow, and she sent me the shade Hopeful, and it looks like this. And it almost has like a, almost like ColourPop, but softer as far as the texture of it. It's very moussey, very whipped. Now, she did recommend that I used it with the Younique brush. She did send that to me. It's similar to the Makeup Geek foiled brush. The Makeup Geek foiled brush, the taper goes down a bit more and is just a little bit fluffier. I would imagine you can also use a concealer brush. So just any kind of flat shader brush that isn't too fluffy should probably work with this, but I'm gonna go ahead and use the Younique one. Now, she did say that this one in particular isn't super opaque, which for me, I kind of like opaque. So maybe a different shade would work better for me. Show you how much is on the brush there. And we're gonna go ahead and apply. So you can see it's like a wash of pinkish purpley kind of color. Now, this is a $26 eyeshadow. If they're all like this, I definitely don't think this one's a good one. Let's go ahead and put on a second coat. So it goes on kind of patchy. I wish that it was more of a foiled finish. I think that's what they're going for, but they totally missed the mark on this one. I also don't know if this would be better over eyeshadow primer or even like over a white base. I just thought of that. I probably should have tried that and I didn't. And go ahead and put it on the other eye. It's almost like a marshmallowy kind of consistency. Let me hold it up and show you. So unfortunately, this one is a huge no for me. I think it's my least favorite thing that was sent to me. I mean, even if it does need a primer or if it needs a white base, I feel like at the price point, it should just perform. You know what I'm saying? So now we're gonna go into the Moodstruck Addiction Eyeshadow Palette. Now, these seem to be very hit or miss depending on who you are. I've used them a few times, so this will be maybe the 4th time that I've used this palette. Now, it does come with 7 eyeshadows and it's $49. So we're going into like naked palette range. I mean, we're in serious high-end territory and we're only getting this many shades. So it's gotta be amazing. So we're gonna start with the shade Determined. Up in the crease. And I do really like this shade. This is probably one of my favorite shades in the palette. We're gonna go ahead and put Flippant all over the lid, focusing on the inner, like center to inner part of the eye. And you can see how it just doesn't really show up. And I've done this over, not over the base, and it does the same thing. It's just a pretty weak shade. So now we're gonna go ahead into Cheeky and go ahead and put that on the outer corner. And I'm gonna blend that out a bit. Okay, we're gonna go with Smitten in the inner corner. And just to deepen it up a little bit more, we're going to use Irate right in the outer V. All right, we're going to go into the lower lash line, and I'm going to go ahead and put Cheeky on the center to the outer corner. Ooh, that brush did not do well. I'm going underneath my lash line. I'm going too fast. Slow it down, Jen. Slow it down. And put a little bit of that Smitten in the center to the inner corner. Okay, so since we did not do an eyeliner from Younique, I'm going to go ahead and apply my eyeliner, and I will be right back to show you the mascara. So thoughts on the eyeshadow palette. It's not a bad palette, but there's no way on earth this is worth $49. It's just not worth the price tag at all. It's just, you know, if you're only used to using like mid-range to lower performing drugstore product, you will probably be blown away by this. You'll probably find it to be fantastic, but you're also investing $49, and there's so much better eyeshadow palettes you can get for $49. I mean, you can get one of the Naked palettes. I definitely recommend either one or two, definitely, unless you really like smoky eyes. I don't really like the 3 that much, even though some people really do like the 3. You know, you can get some of the indie brands that are amazing, you know, Colored Rain and Juvia's Place. I mean, they have amazing eyeshadow palettes for cheaper than this. I mean, it's just not worth the price point, in my opinion. So let's get into the famous mascara. So, the Younique Fiber Mascara. Okay. This was the first fiber mascara I had ever heard of, and I actually had a rep send me this mascara about 2 years ago, and I hated it. I absolutely hated it. It did nothing for my lashes. My lashes looked stupid, like it was bad, to the point where I filmed a video for her of me applying it, and she was like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know. You must have gotten a bum tube, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I can't review this. I can't in good conscience review it unless you want me to be honest and tell my audience everything that I'm telling you. She's like, no, don't worry about it. Just don't do the review. So I didn't do the review. I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but I am not, okay, I'm not reviewing this based on what I think will be popular. I am reviewing this based on what I personally think, and I'm going to be honest with you. I like this mascara. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I like it. Is it for everybody? Oh no, it's not for everybody. But I personally like it. And as I put it on, I'm going to tell you why I like it and who will not like it. So first thing you need to do with a fiber mascara is you put on this jelly stuff here, which is kind of like a mascara. We've got a wand here that's very thin, and the bristles are very spread apart. So we start off, I'm just going to do one eye for now. Now this is the step that's going to make the fibers stick to your lashes. Before that dries, you need to go into these, which are the fibers. And I'll show you a close-up in a second after I put this on. I just want to hurry up and get this on. So then what I do is I just kind of wiggle this up my lashes, and these little fibers stick to the, I don't know if they call it transplanting gel. I think that might be what it's called, but I can't look right now. So these are the fibers. Okay, and where you need to be careful is, like, I'm wearing contact lenses right now, which is probably not the best idea, because if one of these gets stuck in my eye under my contact lenses, it is no bueno. You do not want to get these in your eye. I did not get any in my eye just now. You can also sometimes notice that some of them will fall on your face here a little bit as you're applying it. That's happened to me, and they just easily brush away. So after that's done, you do the gel one more time. So you may have seen horror picture looking photos of the Younique mascara where it looks like crazy spider lashes. I have not had that problem with it, or that success with it, however you want to look at it, because I haven't ever done more than just the one coat of fiber. So let me go ahead and zoom in and show you what my lashes look like right now. This is called the transplanting gel, by the way. I did have it right, I just wasn't 100% sure. So one thing I do want to read to you is the warning here. It says, warning, for external use only, avoid contact with eyes and keep fibers out of eyes as injury could result. If irritation occurs, promptly discontinue use. If irritation persists, consult a physician. Never use if your eye is injured, irritated, or infected. Do not add anything to the product or share with others. Never apply this product in a moving vehicle. Keep out of reach of children. So there is a warning on here that you do not want these fibers in your eye. So that's kind of what the risk you're taking with this if you enjoy the effects. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other eye. I'll be right back. Now that I have both eyes on. So the other thing I've heard about fiber mascaras, which I have not experienced with this product, is that the more you use it, the more clumpy this product, the transplanting gel gets, because you're kind of going back and forth and you're getting fibers into this product. I have not had that problem, but just so you know, that's something that could possibly happen with this. I personally really like the effect of this mascara. I've had no problems with it getting in my eyes, hurting my eyes in any way. During the day, I'll sometimes see some pieces fall out on my cheeks, but they're really easy to wipe away, where some mascara flakes, when you go like this, it actually smears on your face. These, you just kind of go like this and they're gone and that's it. And it's only ever been just a few flakes. It was never like, it was like a few fibers. It was never like a hot stinking mess of like black rain underneath my eyes, you know? So overall, I've really been enjoying this mascara, but it's definitely not for everybody, and it's definitely not for someone that's not used to applying mascara. This is like, you know, not mascara 101. It is not an easy product to work with. As you're brushing the fibers on, sometimes you can get big clumps of fibers that stick to your lashes, but you just kind of have to wiggle the brush to get the clumps off, and you don't want to blink with one of those big clumps on your lashes. You want, so it's a lot, it's a lot, but I do enjoy the effects once I get the mascara on. That's just the way that I feel. So now it is time to move on to lips. Before I do the lip liner and all of that, let's talk about the lip stain. I don't want to use this for this video because I think it impacts the other products that I want to show you. So I put it on earlier and just took a quick shot of my lips with this on. No crazy ingredients in here that were cause me alarm. $22 for this, and I'm just going to show you the picture. Now, I don't have perfect lips by any means. My lips are kind of a mess when it comes to dry spots. If you have perfect lips, you may really like this because the lasting power on it is really, really good. But if you have any kind of dryness, any kind of cracking or anything on your lips, this sticks to it like crazy, and that is typical of a lip stain. It is like the thing that lip stains do. So this is not out of the ordinary for something a lip stain would do. Because this is a deeper shade, I feel like it accentuated those dry patches even more, and this is not a product for me at all. Moving on to something more positive, this is the lip liner. This is the shade Plush, and there are 10 shades of lip liner in their line. Again, no crazy ingredients in here that cause me alarm. It's very creamy. Goes on super creamy, super easily. I've used this with many different lipsticks, and I feel like it definitely keeps my lipsticks in place without bleeding outside the line. Definite win on the lip liner. Let's go ahead and go into the liquid lipstick. She sent me the shade Sentimental, and she did send me a lip brush to go with it. So we're gonna go ahead and apply it with the lip brush instead of the applicator. And one thing that's good about using a lip brush with liquid lipsticks is that you don't get as much bacteria directly into your product, because you can clean off this brush in between and you can make your liquid lipsticks last longer. So the liquid lipstick. I am also extremely picky about my liquid lipsticks. I like moussey liquid lipsticks. I don't care if they transfer. That's just me personally. I like comfort over longevity. Now this one is a very matte and flat look. It's very opaque. It dries down to being very dry. All right, so it's been about 5 minutes since I applied this liquid lipstick, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the kiss test on my hand. And we've got some transfer happening. I'm gonna go ahead and just kiss as much as I can. And try to get kind of the excess off to see if it continues to be not kiss proof. Yeah, we're still kissing. We're still getting lipstick off. So you can see that that did not affect the way that the liquid lipstick looks. So now I'm gonna go ahead and take my towel and I'm gonna go ahead and pat gently and try to get any excess product off. This is gonna simulate what's gonna happen if you wear this throughout the day. Touch your lips, maybe eat something dry, wipe with a napkin, things like that. So you can see the product is still staying on. I'm gonna give it a tougher wipe. Product is still coming off on the towel. And you can see that it is still on my lips even after all that rubbing. And now we finally have, after all of that rubbing, now it's finally starting to be almost non-existent. So as far as my natural wear test goes, I want to tell you that I don't like the way this liquid lipstick wears down. I find it to wear off very patchy, where it is more worn off, especially in the middle, which is typical. I don't like the way that it wears off. It wears off very unevenly, so I feel like I constantly have to, not constantly, but once or twice in the day, I need to reapply it in order to keep it looking good. It lasts much better than the typical regular lipstick, but I honestly don't think that it's one of those that's going to be like a last all day kind of liquid lipstick, because it just doesn't look good as it wears down. But as you can see, it does have a long lasting power if you like that. It's not particularly hydrating, but it doesn't seem to be particularly drying, at least for me personally. So again, no ingredients in here that bothered me. It's just an okay product for me. It's not a great one for me personally. And the last product I want to show you is the lip gloss. This is in the shade Luxe. And I'm just going to go ahead and apply it with the applicator. Since I had product on, I want to go ahead and show you a swatch on my hands. So as you can see, it is not a super opaque gloss. It definitely doesn't feel heavy and thick, which I really, really like a lot. I forgot to mention scent. It has very little to no scent there, and I believe little to no scent here as well. Yeah, just a little bit of like a muddy, chemically kind of scent. But it's very, very faint. But it's definitely not a pleasant scent, but it's not offensive. This one doesn't really have much scent at all. It does have a mirror on the side. I think that's cute when they include little mirrors so you can kind of see what you're doing and check out your lip gloss. I don't think it's necessary, but it is cute. So lip gloss, it's relatively typical, but I actually like it better than the typical lip gloss just because it's not super heavy. But there's definitely nothing magical about it. So now time for final recommendations and final thoughts. So based on my personal experience, these are the things that I personally liked the most. The Younique Rose Water Toning Spritz, which totally caught me off guard. The lip liner, the Mineral Touch Powder Foundation, and the brow pencil. The things that I think that you kind of have to look at the details of what I told you and decide whether they're good for you or not. The foundation, just because it is a lighter coverage. The concealer, because it is a bit tricky to work with. The liquid lipstick, just because you have to like that particular look. The primer, just because it has that kind of oily-ish feel to it. The mascara, just because it definitely is very tricky to work with and you have to be very careful about getting the fibers in your eyes. And the eyeshadow palette, you know what, I'm thinking about moving this to the no category just because of the price point. The price point on this is insane for what you get. But it's not a bad eyeshadow palette. It's just you don't get enough product. You don't get enough shades for the price tag. It's very, very overpriced. And then I definitely do not recommend the Stiff Upper Lip Lip Stain, and I do not recommend the Splurge Cream Shadow based on the one shade that I tried. Maybe some of the other shades are better. And oh, another one that I am kind of on the fence about is the Shine Cleansing Cloth. It just depends on how moist you need your towels to be. So now to answer the big question, is it good stuff or is it overpriced crap? And I won't say that it's overpriced crap, but I will say that it's overpriced. I feel like if Younique, if I had to give them one piece of business advice, it would be to lower their prices. I think the prices are competitive with Sephora brand, high-end, very high-quality products, and I feel like that even though the ingredient lists are good for the most part on these products, I feel like it's just the performance of them are not good enough to keep up with the best of the best you can buy at Sephora and in the prestige section of Ulta. It's not even good enough for some of the best drugstore products that I own. And if they really want to be competitive in this market, they've got to drop the prices down. If I was going to buy this, like if I could pay $15 for this eyeshadow palette, I would say yes, definitely go for it. The liquid lipstick is $27. I mean, I think that's insane for this liquid lipstick. You can get a really nice liquid lipstick from Sephora for $20. And it just, I don't feel like this can compete with that. I don't. The primer's $39. I mean, that's just insane because you can get so much better at Sephora and in the prestige brand section at Ulta, and of course on the brand websites. I mean, I do feel like it's overpriced, but I don't think that it's crap, except for those couple of products that I really didn't enjoy. I feel like there are some gems here, and if you are invited to go to a Younique party, then definitely, I mean, I think that you'd be able to find some good things. If you want to support Lacey for being so awesome to send me all this stuff, her information is down below. She has a Facebook page that you can go and like, and she can tell you about all the new releases and everything. And there's definitely some recommends here that I do feel like are worth the price, like the powder foundation. I feel like it's just as good as the Too Faced. I feel like the brow product is definitely just as good as the Anastasia Brow Wiz. I also think it's just as good as the L'Oreal Brow Definer though, so it's one of those kinds of things. You know, and the lip pencil just as good as the high-end ones. And if the Rose Spritz sounds good to you, I would definitely recommend purchasing those at the Younique prices. But as far as everything else, I feel like it's overpriced, and it makes me sad because, you know, I feel like they've got some potential here, but they've got to lower the prices. I would love to hear your opinion of Younique products down in the comments below. So now that I've beat that horse with a stick, I'm gonna go ahead and say goodbye for today. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, definitely hit the subscribe button for more review videos and makeup news and all kinds of good stuff. Definitely show some support to Lacey down below. Thank you so much, Lacey, for sending me all of this for the video. I really, truly appreciate it. And thank you again so much for watching. Mad love, and I'll see you in a video soon.